This is ASS Breaking News.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to another ASS News special report. Today we are here with none other than Governor Cuomo. Good evening, Mr. Cuomo. I'm saying Governor Cuomo for now.
Good evening to you, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us. I know you probably are having like a wild week, especially with the AG report coming out. What do you have to say for yourself, you fucking pig?
Well, first of all, Andrew Cuomo, have never touched any of these women or men willingly or unwillingly without their permission.
So you unequivocally deny it.
I flat out deny everything. And I have to say, it's all a hoax.
A hoax? Okay, so after the four-month investigation, and I quote the New York AG, specifically, we find the governor sexually harassed a number of current and former New York State employees by, among other things, engaging in unwelcome and non-consensual touching, as well as making numerous offensive comments of suggestive and sexual nature that created a hostile work environment for women.
They said this about me, Andrew Cuomo?
I'm sorry, did you not read the report?
I don't know what to tell you. I hear these things in the news media, and all I can tell you is that it's just flat out bullshit.
Really?
Really? Why would they say this about me, Andrew Cuomo?
Yeah. About you, not only about you, there was also evidence that came out in the report that your brother, Chris Cuomo, who works over at CNN, has also been strategically trying to coach you on answers to questions from journalists and how to react to different stories.
Nothing could be further from the truth. You see, because Chris has the brain of a peanut. And really? If he were to give me advice that I would take, that would prove that he is the superior brother, which he is not, as you all know. The superior brother is me, Andrew Cuomo.
Right. Who is accused by 11, count them, 11 different current and ex-employees of sexual harassment. Yes, that Andrew Cuomo.
No.
Do you not have like any sort of defense for yourself? Do you just straight out deny?
No, I this is what I have to tell you. I am this way with everyone, okay? Mm-hmm. Growing up and being Italian has taught me that specifically, you have to be gesturing with your hands like I'm doing right now and expressing warmth through hugging, kissing, stroking of hair, squeezing of the buttocks.
I'm sorry. Breasts. What were those last two? The what?
The what you normally do when you see people, when you greet them, right? You don't do that?
I'm not sure I understand, because normally people do not squeeze the breast or touch the buttocks when they're seeing...
let me give you an example. Hold on.
Okay.
This is me grasping at the chin of a dear colleague. Can't you tell he is obviously having a great time, and there's no bones about it. I mean, if we continue to shuffle through, look, I'll show you. Here I am saying hello to a dear pet, a flamingo.
That's how you say hello to your pet flamingo?
You don't? Oh, you must not have a pet flamingo then. But there's also other.
No, apparently I do not.
I mean, look at this. This is me with Charlie Rangel. He's going in for a little smooch.
Right. That's you. It looks like you're anywhere between 10 to 15 years younger in that picture.
Thank you. That's actually me from last week. But
sure.
As we continue on through the slideshow, look, it's me having dinner with a lovely, what I would say is Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, before obviously she married Prince Harry.
That's not Markle. Do women all look the same to you?
That's a woman?
Okay.
Oh, look at this. Me with a lovely corn dog. See how the corn dog is just gently letting me.
I don't even know if this is going to be able to air to our viewers. I don't know.
Or how about this with me and this Boeing 737? Giving a nice
that is highly Islamophobic.
Or with me in the tailpipe of this car. You can see she obviously had a good time. And then we cuddled afterwards. Or me and this grandma who, before I put into a nursing home, I gave her a nice lick on the nose and told her.
So this is what happened before you put her into a nursing home to her death?
I didn't kill her, okay? I simply showed her a little love before I sent her off on her way to her death.
Obviously.
But then it gets better, okay? This is me and a nice little dragon. Giving a little smooch. Little Eskimo kisses. Okay. Or me giving this woman a nice back shoulder massage. And then it gets better. Look, I actually even went to the hospital because I'm showing too much love. Look at this. I got my penis.
Oh
my penis. My penis.
What?
Got painfully stuck in the vacuum cleaner.
How did I mean, that's probably a story for another time.
No. I will go into the further detail here.
Okay, please.
Andrew Cuomo.
And don't leave any graphic detail out.
I simply said to the vacuum cleaner, what would turn you on? And the vacuum cleaner said, push this button. I pushed it. It was turned on. So what was I supposed to do? Not put my dick in it?
Yes.
Well, as we continue, there's this, of course, me and one of my bros. This lovely young woman asked me to help her with support. I was there in need. She asked me if
this was consensual. That's what you're saying.
She asked me to support her. And so this is what we did. Okay. And then of course, every now and then there are certain times in which things are taken out of context. And I will concede this one point. This very much was taken out of context. I was performing a anal thermometer to find out if this lovely young woman was having a fever. So, you see, there's really not much to see here at all.
That looks very consensual. All of those looked very consensual.
Exactly.
And not at all weird. That looked very normal.
Exactly. Everything looked consensual. And honestly, I think this is a big bunch of bullshit.
Right. I think you should use that exact same slide as your defense every single time.
Well, thank you.
Now, moving on, Mr. Cuomo, there's also reports of suggesting that you know the words of a certain song that you repeatedly deny that you know, but are heard singing. Does vaccine mean anything to you?
I have no clue.
None whatsoever. So this isn't you singing the song.
Got the vaccine, you got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal. Let me inform you. Let's all get the vaccine.
No, that's not me at all.
Okay. So those reports were all just falsified.
Absolutely. I mean, you can get the vaccine, or we can get the vaccine. We can all get the vaccine and get back to normal. With me, Andrew Cuomo.
Right. So you're calling Candace a liar, basically.
Who, Candace? What's going on, Habibis? Welcome to another episode
Habibis.
of Habibi Power Hour. Shit, wrong intro. Every single time.
Mr. President, do you believe that Governor DeSantis and Governor Abbott are personally making decisions that are harming their own citizens?
I believe the results of their decisions are not good for their constituents.
I do it with everyone, black and white, young and old, straight and LGBTQ.
Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, the BBs? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm Mujahed Kobbe.
Welcome to another episode of a Habibi Power Hour. A little bit delayed edition, but you're here with me, Andrew Cuomo.
Nice nipples.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to do the whole shirtless. The whole show shirtless. With me, Andrew Cuomo.
And Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo. That's going to take some practice. How are we doing tonight, Habibis? Welcome. We feeling okay? Jay, how you doing?
Well, after that boner you gave me, I'm doing very, very good right now.
I got to say, I was in a rush to do basically everything, and I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, perfectly. Absolutely. Without, it's not like you left me waiting for 10, 15 minutes.
Not at all.
Here.
Let me see how this looks.
Hey,
let's keep it. Let's keep it.
It's not too bad. It's okay.
Yeah, forget about it.
It's a gabagoo. It's a gabagoo.
The gabagoo. I get
What the fuck?
How's my volume?
You sound great. And I think that was the perfect, best Italian American impressions. I mean, I think Italian Americans watching right now think we're Italian American.
I mean, they certainly do after that.
Yeah, I mean, what are you putting in that as? Is that like a cannoli?
I said it's a thermometer.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it looks like a cannoli.
Fuzzy says, Siraj gave the Jihad Meme Factory afternoon homework, went back to bed, and all he had to do was mail the intro. You stink, Siraj. Thank you for your help. To all the Jihad Meme Factory Habibis.
Come on. It's not going to be an HPH without a boomer moment. And we need to cherish every boomer moment we can.
Cherish it.
You got to.
That's great. I mean, honestly, of all the things that could happen, a boomer moment with me is basically top tier content.
Right. I mean, it's like going to Hajj.
It's like going to Hajj.
It's going to erase all of your sins.
It really does. And you just feel bad for me, and just like, why can't this man get it together? And essentially 100%, that's why you watch.
God damn it.
I gotta get a drink.
Yes, can you please? Because you're gonna get me all fucked up by myself.
All right, let me get it.
How we doing, Habibis? Wonder Kimmy, Allah loves boomers. That's true. Oh God.
What'd I miss?
No, it's just another. Oh God, Josh. So on our Discord server, my mom is actually a member of our Discord server, and sometimes she likes to come in and just talk shit. That's what she likes to do. She likes to go on there and talk shit. And I wonder why the mods have allowed her to be on this server. Because seriously, guys, when somebody talks shit on the server, you got freedom of speech does not exist on Habibi Power Discord server, especially for my mom. When she starts talking shit, you fucking ban her. You ban no. So no, I'm not afraid to introduce my mom to my girlfriend. They've talked over the phone. They know they both know each other exists and all that fun stuff. But it hasn't happened in a good time for them to meet. That's about it.
I just read that question, and Jay, I still haven't met her, and I've hung out with you 3 times. Once in California. How are we so sure she's a real person? Josh brings up a good point.
Okay, look, honestly, when you were in town, the electronic air pump that I plug in was broken, and it takes me like anywhere from 20 to like 45 minutes to actually inflate her by mouth.
So it's like a air mattress.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah,
Except
I like
you sleep with instead of sleep on.
Mm-hmm. Or in.
Yeah.
Wait. I mean, I am that small, so my lungs aren't that big. They're not big enough to be able to get those through.
That's okay. You'd certainly blow enough in order to have high lung capacity. Ginny Higer, thank you, Ginny. Says, Jay, take this money and buy yourself a table or floor lamp or something for that empty ass room.
So
$5 will get you a lot.
It would, but you can't see like everything else. I have a really nice shelf over here as well with like all different kind of anime and gamer stuff, and then I have pictures
and waifus,
and then I have another table over here too. Now this section, the reason why this is all freed up and stuff is because when Dan's mom comes over, we like to roll around all in here. We like to let's have enough.
You gotta have a lot of room for activities.
Exactly. And his mom is very athletic.
Essentially,
100%. You fuck.
I'm drinking now, Jay, so you can't say that.
Yes, you're right. A gabagoos.
A gabagoo. Bart the Tree Guy says, thank you. Bart says, I know freedom of speech doesn't exist on Habibi server because all I do is say how much I love Cuomo and I get banned. Well, actually, he did get banned. It was actually it was an accidental ban that was supposed to be a mute for simping for Cuomo, and here he is simping for Cuomo on Maine. Got to put that horny streak away. Anyways, actually, yeah, we really want to get into Cuomo because there's a lot to unpack there. So let's get right into it. Very first thing, Letitia James, Attorney General of New York State, comes out with this damaging statement.
News and pieces of evidence reveal a deeply disturbing yet clear picture. Governor Cuomo sexually harassed current and former state employees in violation of both federal and state laws. The independent investigation found that Governor Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women, many of whom were young women, by engaging in unwanted groping, kisses, hugging, and by making inappropriate comments. Further, the governor and his senior team took actions to retaliate against at least one former employee for coming forward with her story, her truth. And Governor Cuomo's administration fostered a toxic workplace that enabled harassment and created a hostile work environment where staffers did not feel comfortable coming forward with complaints about sexual harassment due to a climate of fear and giving.
All right, so that was Letitia James coming out with that very powerful report that took 4 months in the making. And Jay, I wish that our intro was more or less parody, but this is how Andrew Cuomo legitimately responded to these accusations.
I do it with everyone, black and white, young and old, straight and LGBTQ, powerful people, friends, strangers, people who I meet on the street.
So that was Jay, I gotta say, one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. And the fact that it was prepared, they had a slideshow ready, basically guaranteed he knew about all these allegations that they were going to come down the pipeline. And so he was like, all right, let's go get some basically some material to say, I do this with everybody. And I mean, he didn't actually deny any of this shit. He basically just said, I do this with everyone. Here's what's actually spotted in public, but you'll never see what happens in private. I mean, gabagool, right?
Absolutely. And I hope he keeps on using this defense until the day I don't think he's going to resign, but till the day he gets out of office. Like, I hope he keeps on using it. It's hilarious. It's so funny to watch him scramble and trying to deny these allegations by showcasing him just touching people's faces and kissing them on the cheeks. I mean, that's not what they were saying that he was doing in the first place either. That's not a little, like how you and I go into for the hug and then cup each other's balls and then kiss each other on the lips and then smack each other in the face and then pinch our nipples.
Completely consensual.
I mean, it's all normal. That's how you interact with people, and that's what he's showing right here. That's exactly.
I mean, if he said he was Arab, he probably would have been okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Essentially. In any event, he said he was Italian, so basically, he should have a lot. So, I'm sorry, I can't help you, Andrew. You should just accept Islam into your life, and all is forgiven.
Absolutely, because then women, you can no. I was going to say you can actually get away with beating women and not just actually harassing them. But I refrained myself. Like, I held myself back. You saw that. I'm not drunk enough yet.
You really have grown, Jay. You've really progressed and grown. I'm so proud of you.
Just a little bit, but I love how he's like, I'm Italian. It's what we do. We harass women in little dark rooms and intimidate them. That's what Italians do. What can I say?
That's what we do.
Hey, and then we throw the pizza and go harass women. That's what we do.
Yeah. Avex Stein, thank you. Ev says, is your second-rate lawyer Brooklyn dad giving this creep advice? Where are you, Damon? Damon, are you around here?
Damon, you here, Brooklyn?
Where are you? Actually, it was really funny because Bloomberg actually posted an article. I shit you not, about how Andrew Cuomo was being defiant. And I know Cuomo is not from Brooklyn, but I mean, I couldn't resist, and I ended up making a Brooklyn dad joke, and I can't find it now because I wasn't prepared for this moment. But in any event, it's this is a 163-page report that Letitia James came out with, and I gotta say, it is pretty fascinating to see how this has all come about. There are 11 accusers that were deemed to be credible. They had done interviews with over 179 people, including Cuomo's accusers, from both current and former administrative employees. And basically, everyone has ditched him finally, which is crazy because the entire time, Jay, you and I were arguing how this guy should be going down, not for the sexual harassment stuff, but simply for the nursing home death cover-up. Right.
I mean, and it's not to say that the sexual harassment stuff isn't, deeply disturbing and deserving of its own, justice on what's going to hopefully happen to him, and it should. But it shows to the complete character of all of these people finally stepping up now to condemn him when there's like irrefutable evidence of his complete disgusting nature. And we had irrefutable evidence months ago about how he is almost directly responsible for the deaths of New York grandmothers in New York.
Right.
Like his signature led directly to their deaths. But yeah, it's insane. And I'm happy that he's going to be. I mean, it's hard for me to say because all they're doing is calling for his resignation. They've called for his resignation before. They have before. They called for him.
The Democratic-controlled House or the General Assembly in New York is now expediting his impeachment, which I'm sure it's going to happen before the next time he gets reelected, right?
It should. It has to. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Here you go. Here's your Bloomberg headline: Cuomo defiant after probe finds he sexually harassed women. That's Brooklyn Dad defiant right there. Real quick, and I actually been wanting to share this obviously for some time now. We were going to get into it. We were going to lead into it, but I'll read a few comments before we go into it. Daniel Collins says, I wasn't convinced that Cuomo deserved an Emmy, but once I saw that press conference, I thought, I'll allow it. That's good. Rico Roca says, what happens first? Andrew Cuomo resigns or Chris Cuomo acknowledges his Creek Brothers allegations on CNN? Cuomo resigns first.
If it's between those two, that's what would happen first.
Nate BB says, is it me or is Siraj slightly out of focus? I'm always out of focus.
Always. It's not just you.
Focus. I can never focus. Maddie Heinrichsen, thank you so much, Maddie. And I'm glad you gave us this comment because we were actually going to go into it anyways. But thank you for the $20. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Can we talk about Jay's article? It was awesome and gave survivors support. Let's actually talk about that right now, Jay. There is an article that you wrote for Newsweek, which is fucking incredible. Titled "Impeach CNN." And Jay, I'll let you get into it. But what was kind of like the impetus behind it? I know you obviously have been very inspired by covering both Cuomo brothers. We've been on it for the last year, ever really since. It's actually kind of funny because as long as we've been in lockdown and we started Habibi Power Hour, this whole Cuomo brothers thing has always been like a story we've been following from beginning to end. And
right.
We might see the end of it.
Oh, well, hopefully we'll see some sort of consequence to this type of behavior. If this doesn't show any sort of breach of ethics within the journalistic community and industry, then nothing will. It's just a industry that deserves to burn into ash. And I think what came out of this this AG report showcasing the emails between him and his brother, how his brother was really involved in not only knowing what mistakes Cuomo did during the pandemic, but also about these allegations. To have him interview his brother live on air to make him look like he is some sort of loving brother and like this type of, love gov character and shit, as he put it, was really, really disgusting on CNN's part and on Chris Cuomo's part as well. And the fact that we have no one in the media, we have zero people in the media that has condemned this when it happened, that calls for Chris Cuomo to be fired, except for right-wing publications and the National Review, and that's what you're going to get out of that as well.
And as far as we're concerned, National Review is basically lib.
Yeah. If it doesn't come out of Alex Jones' website, then it's all
basically progressive leftist Antifa.
Right. And the real inspiration for this article as well is that the people like Andrew Cuomo are never alone when they do things like this. It is also everyone that doesn't just cover it up, but people like his own brother that try to change the image of who this person really is. Right. And I believe that this deserves more light, and there should be more emphasis on it. And not only on that, on CNN as a whole too, because you had people like Brian Stelter coming up and saying that it's so refreshing having a honest or an honest person coming up and speaking truth you know, when I go back home, I'm going to raise my kid to be the same, or I'm going to raise my kid as in Andrew Cuomo's example. Or you have people like Nicole Wallace on MSNBC who stopped short of just getting on her knees and sucking his dick live on air by saying that he's like the real president and honest and brave and all of this kind of bullshit. When we had them for 4 years talk about how they hold the powerful accountable, and it's just an insane flip-flop when you really look at it and try to explain it.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, it's a great article that you wrote, great op-ed. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a piece of shit, just like all of my work. You know, that's how great it was. It was one of those things where, like, you know, it really does break that fourth wall, that barrier between media and public service or civic service or governance, where this sort of like it really is collusion behind the scenes. When if you think about it, like we always talk about like Trump-Russia collusion, or at least over the last 5 years we have, like, this is legitimate media, governor, you know, familial collusion, trying to spin a narrative or spin like a legitimate predatory behavior of sexually harassing people within his office, specifically young women, particularly young women, and inappropriately touching them, inviting them to basically all sorts of uncomfortable and inappropriate conversations. And then Chris Cuomo basically jumping in and helping manage the response for his brother, which is just beyond the pale, because once you start doing that and you have a position of influence and power like Chris Cuomo does, because he has a massive platform through CNN every night on primetime. And he's simply, there was a time when he was allowed to cover this stuff. He had his brother Andrew on in the beginning of the pandemic. It almost looked like every night, honestly.
When he was
until they finally put an end to it. At which point, Chris Cuomo really has, like, at that point, if you are a media organization trying to be taken seriously, the most reasonable move would be to fire Chris Cuomo. Right. Like, just say, hey, you know, the mission is greater than this one this one like very conflicting thing. You have a conflict of interest and we can't do business with you anymore. You've lost our confidence. Their audience has lost confidence in you. And just like people have lost confidence in Andrew Cuomo's ability to govern, how the fuck are they still in the public view? Are they really going to weather the storm? Look, given where we are in 2021 and how politicians have been able to sort of brave the storm, I would not be surprised if both of them keep their jobs.
Right. And he doesn't sound remorseful at all. Chris Cuomo, he didn't even mention it. Didn't even mention it on his show. Didn't even react to it. Nothing whatsoever to the story. There's no remorse coming from either him or Andrew. And what's really funny about this, like what this really reminds me of, are the email leaks from WikiLeaks back in 2016. I think it was 2016, where they had all of these email correspondence between journalists and the DNC or members of the DNC. How to talk about these stories in a better light. How to, what response you should have to these questions. Should I go and question this person or talk to Maggie because she is very friendly to the party and stuff like that? Like, the media, and what I think more and more people need to understand, I think a lot more people are understanding, because you can just see the public trust in the media go to the fucking toilet because you have this shit just happening over and over and over again, and the media themselves are more and more trying to showcase themselves or make themselves part of the story, part of what's going on, part of being the power of change and all of this kind of garbage, putting themselves and their own politics within the stories that are happening. They just happen to be brothers, and that bond will they will do unethical shit like that, and like get him live on air and suck his dick for the nation. But what we're seeing, what we're actively seeing now is just the media more and more exposing itself for what they really are. Absolute garbage gapless.
Yeah. Well, Amos says CNN firing Cuomo would be giving Cons a win. No way they can give Cons a win. CNN didn't fire a guy that jerked off on Zoom. That is true. Abe Eckstein, thank you. Abe says $20 to see Siraj. Surprised at seeing $20. Whoa. Didn't see that. Yeah, so there's certainly a lot of signs that Cuomo could step down. Obviously, there's a chance that he gets impeached before that happens. How wild would it be if Cuomo gets impeached and found guilty through one impeachment trial after Trump beats 2 impeachment trials?
It would be absolutely fantastic. I would love to see that happen. But until we actually start seeing him sitting up in front of a hearing and the impeachment trial starts and we see him in handcuffs and taken out, I don't think any of this is going to go anywhere. I don't.
Although I will say this, this is something I would not expect to see on CNN, let alone from Chris Cillizza, and that is him writing this article titled Andrew Cuomo's. Oh God, you can't hear the audio, can you?
No.
Okay.
Does he talk?
No. I mean the audio, the video audio auto played, and so I thought it was coming in through the speakers. It was just coming in through mine. But Andrew Cuomo's utterly disastrous response to the AG report findings. I mean, I don't think I've ever really read a Chris Cillizza piece, so the fact that I even clicked on it, I don't know if I'm losing brain cells or gaining them.
Why would you gain them? Do you mean like you had less brain cells from the very beginning of everything that actually Chris Cillizza of all people can help you gain some? Did you just admit that to yourself?
Yep.
Okay. Next time when you're calling me at night, about the Habibis picking on you and stuff, I'm going to point to this video here and just be like, Habibi, you do it to yourself.
That's true. I do. Prison Mitch says you got porn on another tab. Actually, it's hentai, so close.
Potato.
Yeah, potato. So as that whole thing is embattling Andrew Cuomo, there is another fight to be had currently happening between President Joe Biden and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Now, I don't know if you've seen what's happening, but basically Biden comes out swinging.
Mr. President, do you believe that Governor DeSantis and Governor Abbott are personally making decisions that are harming their own citizens?
I believe the results of their decisions are not good for their constituents. And it's clear to me and to most of the medical experts that the decisions being made, like not allowing mask mandates in school and the like, are bad health policy. Bad health policy.
Yeah, so obviously this is one of the things that's now starting. There's a wedge being driven in between Ron DeSantis and Joe Biden. Like they weren't always hunky-dory beforehand. But I have to bring this up because this is just insane. And that is, while we were talking about CNN and sort of like the surprise and shock that they would actually post something that was seemingly good, they come out with this shit. This article, it says President Biden shows he's ready to fight drastic moves in the COVID-19 fight, even if he's not sure they're legal. So, Jay, where are all the principle first people who are like, I think Joe Biden's becoming an authoritarian. Where are they, Jay?
The norms people of bitch tits, Tom Nichols, and the never Trumpers. What's the other guy? Tim Miller, whatever.
Tim Miller,
the fuck?
Tom Nichols, Jennifer Rubin,
right?
George Conway.
You're not going to see them. They're not coming. They're not coming. They're not. They're all bullshit grifters. 100%.
Essentially, god damn it.
They're all grifters. They're not.
No, they really are. I mean, but the fact that even CNN would write a piece that way is just insane. That one's a little bit specific to the eviction moratorium, which we'll get into in just a minute. But the fact that CNN would even decide that, hey, you know what? We're just going to let the president do whatever he wants to do, and we're not going to call him out for it. And even if he doesn't have constitutional authority, because the DC District Court basically said that the CDC can't extend the eviction moratorium, they went ahead and did it anyways, extending the federal eviction moratorium until October 3rd. Ron DeSantis is now fighting that, as well as a number of different things. But let's kind of get into a little bit of the tit for tat. This is another question that President Biden received in relation to Ron DeSantis.
Enough to get shots in arms.
Why not call Governor DeSantis, Mr. President?
Say happy birthday, what?
To deliver the message that you seem to be delivering today about Gabagoolbibis.
He knows the message we had a whole discussion about the down there. He knows the message.
What did he say to you in that discussion?
See you all later.
All right, so that's President Biden basically saying Ron DeSantis got the message. Well, Ron DeSantis did get the message. This is what he had to say.
Why don't you do your job? Why don't you get this border secure? And until you do that, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID from you. Thank you.
All right, so there's Ron DeSantis saying, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID from President Biden unless he gets the border under control, which, valid critique, honestly, because what is it? Isn't the Biden administration, either they have or they're weighing whether to require all people entering the country through foreign travel proof of vaccination.
Yep.
Unless they come in here illegally, right?
Right. Unless you're an illegal alien coming through the southern border, it's totally fine. You can be as unvaccinated as you want. You don't even have to come in with a mask. No vaccine proof whatsoever. And it was really nice because Biden said to get out of the way to Abbott and DeSantis. And DeSantis his full speech was really actually pretty nice. And it was, if you're going to, hinder in-person teaching for schools, I will be in your way. If you're going to mandate things that are going to harm small businesses for Florida, I will be in your way. And honestly, that's the type of talk I think is going to resonate with more Americans than for fucking old ass dumb shit person who honestly doesn't know where he is to say, get vaccinated, still wear a mask, do what we tell you, and the CDC is now in control of your private property.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this. CDC was granted way more power in the last week than I ever remember them ever having. I mean, sure, they've been making guidance on masks and shit and vaccines and what people should put in their bodies. But then they were like, oh yeah, CDC, you're in charge of eviction moratorium. Oh yeah, CDC, can you make sure that can you close the border? CDC, can you go ahead and fire off this drone strike against a wedding? I mean, the CDC is literal. CDC runs the country basically at this point.
Right, that's what's happening, and that's what you get when you have lazy people in politics. Your politicians are lazy,
most particularly.
Well, they push it onto the unelected bureaucrats. This is the job of Pelosi.
Basically run the fucking country.
Yeah, now, but this is the job of Pelosi and them to actually write up laws, to extend it, to actually put something in place for it to actually be lawful. And they didn't. They said that this is the power of the CDC, or that Trump had the power to do it. When is the last time they did anything except go on recess?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting, and we'll kind of just diving into the eviction moratorium right now. This whole thing about property rights, it's almost like it doesn't exist. Like that's a conversation no one is having. The one thing that like separates like us from the rest of the world, specifically capitalism versus communism and socialism, is this whole concept of property rights. You have landlords who are unable to, who look, there are a lot of people who own rental properties, and they own maybe multiple rental properties. That might be their main source of income. It might be a side source of income. Whatever the case may be, they are being taken advantage of by the federal government, and they are not seeing a dime of any of the money over the last year. They're not getting it. They're not getting a stimulus from the government. Now, if they were getting a stimulus from the government, then they probably wouldn't have much of an argument to be like, oh, this eviction moratorium is bad for property rights. It's bad for property rights because the government did nothing to basically protect the people who own these properties.
Exactly.
And you're basically radicalizing. I'm not going to say it's the government's fault, but like you are creating you're creating the culture of dependency on the federal government. And you're radicalizing people on both sides by doing this, and it's not gonna be pretty. Those people who have to pay rent, yes, they need help too. But the people who own those properties, and they got bills too, they got families to feed. Where's that money coming from?
Right,
So,
and it's not a thing that you have to pick and choose between what is right and what is wrong. What you have to do, I mean, between the two different sides of renters and landowners, what you should do is you should do what is right and what is lawful. The government does not own these properties, and they should never have that power. They shouldn't, because then they're going to dictate where you can live. They can dictate how big of a house you're going to be put in, what area, what districts you can live in, and all of these type of factors that you want nothing to be a part of. And to demonize landlords and people who own these properties as some sort of rich capitalist fucking stooges and all this kind of shit is a stupid comparison, and it's not something that you should allow yourself to think about. I think what landlords should do is that it's been more than 18 months. There are millions of jobs opening right now for people to go and work for, that they should evict any tenant that has not paid rent for over 18 months and dare the state to come after them. Dare the CDC to come and find them. Dare them.
yeah. Yeah, the CDC now becomes ICE and basically deports people not paying rent.
That's what it is, or deports the landlords for evicting people for not paying rent. I mean,
well,
that's what needs to happen.
They'll probably do that too. But I was just going to say, I mean, like the problem is people got stimulus money, and a lot of people took advantage of getting that stimulus money, or they got unemployment, and a lot of them didn't pay their rent. They used that money for other things. They used whether they used it for food, whether they used it either to buy themselves something nice.
Like two computers.
If they paid their rent, we would not have this issue about eviction moratorium and extending it. We wouldn't have Cory Bush sleeping outside on the Capitol steps, demanding that the House come back from recess, or Congress come back from recess to extend eviction moratorium, even though it's not really in their power to do so. Although, unless they pass legislation, which brings me to this particular tweet from Speaker Pelosi, who tweets out, ensuring every American has a roof overhead is a value that unites the Democratic Party. That's why I led a relentless campaign to extend the CDC eviction moratorium. In an act of pure cruelty, Republicans blocked this measure, leaving children and families out in the streets. Let's get one thing straight, okay? Nancy Pelosi led a relentless campaign beginning on Friday afternoon and ending Friday evening when they went for recess. She does not give a shit. She is from San Francisco, where Jay, what's the homelessness rate in San Francisco?
San Francisco? Holy shit.
It's pretty high. I mean, it's not great. It's definitely not on the good side of, it's definitely not closer to zero than most places in the country. So leading a relentless campaign, please, with all due respect, Madam Speaker, go fuck yourself.
Right. And the funny thing is like what is hilarious about her sleeping there and stuff is like, oh, I want to emulate, how homeless people live and everything. Well, she has like 5 boxes of Oreos, 30 bags of fucking Lays, and all that kind of shit around her and shit. And it's like, man, you're just doing a little stunt camp out, and then she gets these praises from stupid fucking commie people on the left and on Twitter. It's just hilarious to me because she didn't do jack shit. It's not because of her that it got extended. It's because these people, and the media doesn't give a fuck about it because they'll allow them to do it. They don't care about the Constitution. They do not care about how ways should actually be done. They will push that aside to make themselves look good. They are more for the now and looking good than they are for doing what's right and how to do it.
Abe Eckstein says,
and also work.
Make America Florida. I mean, America's basically Florida, but without the freedom.
You moving to Florida. I love how based moving to Florida is. I really do. I fucking love it.
I mean, like, look, maybe it's part of me going independent. Maybe it's part of just the way the winds are shifting. But you start to see all this stuff, and everything sort of connects. And when you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's just kind of where I've been, at least over these last few months, where, when you live in the DC bubble, everything is just moving at a lightning speed. And you really cannot take a step back to sort of look at the bigger picture. And I've had a lot of time to really do that. Some people would say I have endless amounts of time since I'm unemployed. But, I mean, I'm glad I at least am using it wisely in this regard. But yeah. Anyways, Daniel over here says, what's going on, Habibis? I'm joining locals. Why? Well, I want to give you some of my raw, unfiltered thoughts that I can't share anywhere else. Thank you, Daniel. I'm glad. Maybe it was because I joined locals that I became more based. Because I shared those raw, unfiltered thoughts, and then it just sort of leaked. Anyways. So yeah, there is that. But there's also what else am I looking at? Oh, okay. So another thing, and Jay, you brought this up when we were talking earlier, and that is Ron DeSantis might have a little bit of trouble in his own backyard, because while he has basically defended his actions, he's banned mask mandates, just as the state once again broke his record for COVID-19 hospitalizations. Now, mind you, hospitalizations versus death rate, still Florida ranks below the national average in deaths per 100,000 people.
Not even in the top 10.
No, it's like right in the middle of the pack, which for a big state like Florida, pretty good. Mm-hmm. It is a spacious area. I will attest to that wholeheartedly. It's not like New York or New Jersey, where those are the top 2 states in terms of death rate. And everybody, at least within New York City and just, greater New York City as well, that includes New Jersey, everyone's living on top of each other. So the lockdown didn't work at all.
Well, the funny thing about it is they called for a lockdown, but they didn't stop the metro. And what is the metro? Metro is just a hot box of people standing right next to each other, able to get COVID from one another. And as the pandemic first started, they were like, no, don't worry about it. Continue on your life. Take the metro. It's totally safe. You're good.
Yeah.
And it's just insane that they're going after DeSantis about it. But
well, I mean, so there's one point of contention that's kind of interesting because now I am obviously against banning mask mandates, but I've seen Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson talk about his mask mandate, saying specifically he actually had a mandate to ban mask mandates. And then he came out today saying that he regretted that ban on mask mandates. Arkansas Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson. He had a statewide ban on face mask mandates earlier this year. And he called the state legislature into a special session in an effort to amend the law. Now, look, I am not pro mask mandate. At the same time, I wouldn't say I am pro banning of mask mandate either. I'd say let people do what they feel is best for their own personal health.
Right.
And if I understand that Ron DeSantis, with respect to this particular ban on mask mandates within schools, Broward County, which is in right just outside Miami, they were threatened with, or DeSantis threatened them with pulling public school funding from that county if they implemented a mask mandate. And then they basically took a step back and said, we're not going to implement a mask mandate. So that's one way of doing it. I don't know if I'm really on board. Now, Jay, maybe you have a different view on this, but like, I'm not really on board with banning mask mandates. Are you?
I think I'm on board with banning mask mandates on a government level, meaning government cannot implement what you can and cannot do, force you to wear masks or force your institutions or your businesses to have masks for people to enter. Now, if a business said, look, no mask, no service, that's for the business to decide. That's for the school to decide. Now, mandating it, I'm not with it on a government level, on a school level, on a business level, on a local level.
But
like
you mean
actual individual,
school, right?
Yeah, private school and also public school. I'm okay with it. If
but
they say,
public school treads into government,
right? But I'm saying like within the own property of it. If a school says you have to wear a mask to be in it, I'm okay with that. Private
that's a
school
mask mandate.
I'm talking about like if the county says that all businesses,
again, that's government.
I'm not with that.
Okay,
but if a
business
private business
support of that,
or an individual school,
right? Not part of the public system, part of the private system.
I don't know how it works.
There's
but I'm
public
saying
and
like
private and charter.
Okay,
all you really need to know is that charter and private operate like private businesses.
Okay.
As
long as
public
it's not
operates through the basically whatever regional government is closest to them. So if it's a town, if it's a city, if it's a county, usually they respond to some school board.
Now,
that's a government-run entity.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is like, so let's say how many schools are in a county, for instance? There's like 50. Right. Let's say there's 50. But the individual public schools within that county that say they want to have a mask and other ones that say they don't want to have a mask, that's up to the schools and the school boards themselves. Now, if the county government says that all institutions and all businesses and all private schools and all public schools have to have masks, I'm against that. Right. That's what I'm against. So I find it to be more individual level.
I understand.
People should be allowed to wear masks if they want to wear masks.
So I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. Banning mask mandates is actually fine because it gives people personal choice on what they want to do.
Yes,
doesn't allow people to get all authoritarian and say that person needs to put on a mask. When it comes to businesses, look, my former employer, the Washington Examiner, which I'll highlight in just a moment, they are now mandating that people who work for them must get a vaccine. And if they don't get a vaccine, they have to wear a mask. So anyways, Nate Beebe says, thank you, Nate Beebe says, the Washington Examiner did you wrong. You had no choice but to become independent. This is true. Harkirat says, where is the Pakistani accent? It is here, sir. It is here in Florida. Yes, Wonder Kimmy, I'm here in Florida. So, Atomic Plaguer says, congrats to Jay for breaking his blue check Jono cherry today. Very, very nice. Very nice donation too.
Mashkur, yeah, Atomic Plaguer. Shukran.
Abe Eckstein says, Asa Hutchinson got owned by Tucker and decided to go full establishment Republican. Oh, I'm missing Barn. I'm missing Barn. Where did it go? Oh, Barn.
You're going to find it. You can find it.
I found it. Found it. Banning mask mandates doesn't mean banning masks.
This is true. And that is true.
That is most true.
Yes. People should be allowed to wear masks.
First class true. Sai Kiran Reddy, Skiredi, Sirik Reddy, saying, I am with Siraj. One of the greatest stories of America is migration within America as well. If a country tyrannizes, best for people to move out.
Absolutely true.
And
absolutely
Abe Eckstein, masking children is immoral. Or is it immoral? Immoral, immoral. Immoral? Immoral. I am more. He is saying masking children is I am moral.
No. He's saying it's not moral.
No. I am moral.
No. It's not like I am moral. Is not mine.
He is spelled. How's the spell? Jay?
I am
moral.
No, but you have to read the whole thing. Look.
But it is I moral.
Oh God.
You're like fucking kill.
Now this is why I was a tutor in high school for English for the shortest fucking time because seriously I couldn't take it. I did it for 2 months and then I left. And then I was a math tutor in college for like 2 months and then I left because I have no patience. I have zero patience. Zero. I can't handle it. I really can't handle it.
Totally with you on that. I have zero patience to teach. Wow, we're moving along fast here, Jay. We actually want to cover a little bit of Olympic stuff. So, Jay,
let's do it.
You ready for this?
Let me hear it.
So, this is now there is both a positive and negative to this story because the positive is you're really happy to see someone so excited to win Olympic gold, and you're excited to see them proudly say they represent their country. Now, this is Tamira Mensah-Stock. She actually is the first Black woman from the U.S. to win Olympic wrestling gold. And here's a little snippet of her post-match interview.
Of course I surprised myself. It's by the grace of God I'm able to even move my feet. Like, I just leave it in his hands, and I pray that all the practice, that the hell that my freaking coaches put me through pays off. And every single time it does. And I get better and better. And it's so weird that there is no cap to the limit that I can do. And I'm excited to see what I have next.
Last question for you. That American flag around your shoulders looks pretty good. How does that feel to represent your country like this?
It feels amazing. I love representing the U.S. I freaking love living there. I love it. And I'm so happy I get to represent USA. Love it.
Well said. Congratulations. Enjoy that gold. And we'll see you out there on the podium, okay?
Thank you. I'll try not to cry, but no promises.
All right, so you can't. It's so hard not to love that clip. For one, she's so excited and like she won the 68 kilogram freestyle final. She is only the second woman from the United States, but the first Black woman to win Olympic gold in that category for Team USA. And it's one of those things where, Jay, I see that. And part of me, like you see it on your Twitter timeline, and you're seeing it from mainly conservative news outlets starting, posting this. Because for some reason, I guess over the last like few years, maybe the last decade, we've been programmed to believe that basically all Black people hate America, or at least all prominent Black people hate America, which is definitely not the case. There are tons of people, particularly within the Black community, who love America or are proud to be from America. I think everyone can recognize that America is not without its flaws. But a part of me gets sad when I see this, because something like this shouldn't be newsworthy, let alone noteworthy to even people within conservative circles, that someone like Tamira is proud to be an American. Don't you get a little bit sad looking at that? Like, I mean, I'm obviously happy for her. I'm immensely happy for her. And I'm really happy she won the gold. I'm happy for any American who wins a medal. But like, did it almost like, I don't know if that seemed like a leading question, because what if she said, "Oh, I hate to be from America"? Like, would everybody shit on her then?
It would be a typical.
I feel like everybody would shit on her.
It would be a typical response, though, from what people are expecting right now from Olympians and stuff. And the more you hate or shit on the United States, the more the left media will cover you. And that's why you get so much coverage for the women's soccer team, for instance, or like how powerful they are for kneeling and all this kind of stuff. So the reason why it's newsworthy to me, in my mind, and especially to people on the right, is not because she's Black. It's because of all the other Olympians that are shitting on the United States or shitting being American while being representative of the United States and playing in the Olympics. That's how I see it. And that's why I see the right and some other people showcasing it as newsworthy. Not because she's Black, but because she's actually somebody who is open and willing to not only express her pride of her nation, but to do it loudly and unapologetically.
Yeah, she's very unapologetic about it. And I think that obviously, look, at this juncture, I guess we should praise anybody who's proud to be an American. Like, I think there are a lot of people who are proud to be an American and understand, obviously, that this nation is not without its flaws. You know, especially today, there are certain things that we just never broke away from. Faye asked, did Siraj say she won the 69 kilogram competition?
Nice.
Sadly, I did not. Just so close. It was 68 kilograms, and that is that's 149 pounds. But here's another like heartwarming story, and this has nothing to do with like national pride or anything like that, and that is about Simone Biles. And Simone Biles competed in the women's beam final where she took bronze. Now, honestly, I've never been more happy for someone to get a bronze medal than I am to see Simone Biles get it. That's probably, for her, I would imagine it's probably her favorite medal. I think she's actually stated as such that it might be her favorite medal, just because of the level of like the path that she had to get within a very short period of time to get back to the point where she could compete at a high level. On top of that, she also revealed after she won Olympic bronze on the beam that her aunt died unexpectedly during the Tokyo Olympic Games. I don't know if that was a factor that was a factor within the whole decision to withdraw from a number of her competitions. But in addition to obviously getting the twisties, her aunt dying, and just like not being mentally there, like this is one of those times where like you're gonna see like people like Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh never have to make amends for anything that they said over the past week, because everything that they say is like a step back away from at least allowing people to recognize the importance of people's mental health.
Right. And they have such an old view on mental health, especially Matt Walsh. And he tweets as such, and you can understand it from him. And it is, we need to look at people like Matt Walsh and Charlie Kirk when they say shit the way that they did, and especially against somebody like Simon Biles, who never won.
Jay. Simon Biles?
That's her last name.
Simon? She's not a man.
I apologize, Simone. Jesus, and I'm saying, and I thought you were trying to catch me on saying her last name wrong. God damn it!
Oh man. Yeah. Anyways, we completely lost the plot on that because he said Simon. Oh man. Fuck. So good. Avex says she's not political. Check her Twitter. She's just a normal person. I think he's talking about Tamara here. Rom says, Siraj at this juncture, Hashmi. Yeah, that's my new, essentially.
100%.
Rico Rocco says, Tamara Mensa stock. Much greater than Megan Rapinoe. Wow. Jay, another Olympic story right there. The U.S. women's national team loses to Canada 1-0 in the semifinal of the Olympics and now has to only compete for bronze. Meanwhile, in the same 24-hour window, the U.S. men's national team beats Mexico in the Gold Cup final. That was like the U.S. men's like C team beating Mexico's A team, which I don't think many people can appreciate. You love to see it. You love to see U.S. men U.S. men win. You don't necessarily like to see the U.S. women lose, but you do enjoy a little bit of schadenfreude when Megan Rapinoe gets humbled.
Exactly. And I like it to be. And finally, we can start a national conversation on why the U.S. men's soccer team needs to be paid more.
It's true. They need to be paid more. Think of all the trouble they go through. They won 2 trophies this year, Jay. 2. And no one seems to give a shit. Everyone's just focusing on the U.S. women. It's like, oh, Megan
winning
Rapinoe,
a bronze.
This. Oh, I have no problem with Alex Morgan, but Alex Morgan, that. Please. I do not give a shit. I do not
care.
Sai Kiran, ready? Sirk ready. Says, I think parading around bashing America is often confused for speaking truth to power. They are often used by corporate press to further the divide. That is sometimes true. There is conflation, definitely. I'll give you that. But there are some people who just straight up hate America, and they want to represent the country in some way, shape, or form. Just almost apologize for everything America. Like they don't want to they don't want to embrace American principles and try to progress to get us to a better point. They just want to tear everything down, which I don't think is the way to go. But that really is the main philosophical divide between people on the left and right. So, anyways, Daniel G says Simon Biles is my favorite Olympian. I love that. And people are giving me shit for saying Rapinoe. I believe. Yeah, Nate Peavy says Rapinoe. Yeah, Rapinoe. That's how you say your name. Megan Rapinoe. What am I going to call her? Rape-ino?
I might have. If I
you probably would have.
I might, yeah.
Let's be real. And with that being said, ask us anything, Habibis. Go ahead and get those questions in. We try to limit our topics. We're doing this new thing where we actually limit our topics by to 3 every episode because we like to talk about certain things. And when we have to learn things that we have no idea what to talk about, we feel like we are cheapening the story.
Right.
So,
and also, I mean, we don't want because we had the El Quick section and that took up 70%.
Yeah, essentially 100% of the show.
100%. And it was just you talking about the story, and then we had to move on to the next one to get time.
Also, Spencer is in my ear saying, not to forget to remind you, Habibis, that Jay and I will be taking a kind of a hiatus beginning after this week. We have one more episode coming out this weekend, and then I think we're going to go on like a little August recess.
Mm-hmm.
We're not entirely sure when we'll be coming back, but we'll be coming back probably around maybe either right before or right after Labor Day.
Yes.
Basically, we need to get our shit in order. And with our current schedule, with me sleeping until 2, 3 p.m., it's very hard to get any work done. So.
Or actually having a roof over your head. I mean, let's be honest.
That's true too. I mean, I have basically just moved into this Airbnb today, which is why I had to push back the start time of this live stream to 10 because I have been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. What are you gonna do, right?
But alhamdulillah, you got it in, and it's going to be really good. And honestly, we're very excited because the next episode we have this week is going to be with Baitia, and she's actually the opinion editor over at Newsweek, and before that, she was the opinion editor over at Forward.
So what you're telling me is that you're basically colluding with Newsweek to get a column in their publication and then invite Baitia on the show.
What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you saying? I deny it. Unequivocally, I did not touch these people's in their booty holes.
A high anus.
Anus.
A high anus. Joshua Finn Cannon says, who would win a no holds barred, no rules fist fight? Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis? Ooh. I would give Ron DeSantis the edge simply because of youth.
Well, even if they were the same age, DeSantis would fucking destroy Donald Trump.
Why am I rolling up my shirt? I don't mean to show the guns. I don't have a permit for these.
Whoa. You can take whatever you want, sir.
Aesop369 says, should we give the under 15 team that beat the U.S. women's national team the same amount of money they get paid? Absolutely. In fact, we should double their salary. We should make sure they get paid double what the women get.
Exactly.
Essentially.
100%. God damn it.
Damon says, could you please talk? Could you guys please talk some more about the difference
between public, private, and charter schools?
I don't know, Brooklyn Dad. You tell us.
So when I take your mom to a public school, what I do is just lick her clitoris. When I take her to a private school, what I do is stick my dick in her anus. When I take her to a charter school, I let her peg me. That's the difference between the three of them.
You know, no wonder teachers' unions hate charter schools so much. It's like they just don't want to see Damon's mom peg Jay. They are against that kind of love. They are Puritans. So
they are. Jay has written a piece more recently. Siraj journal credentials revoked. Siraj. Yeah, but Daniel, do you not follow him on Locals? That is where you get his most raw, unfiltered thoughts on issues that really matter, like what he had for breakfast.
Yeah. Jay, I need you to read this one.
Please stop and never say clitoris again.
Oh my God. Oh, Prism says Journal Jay is greater than Journal Siraj. Hey, when you have Jay's limited record and my extensive shitty record, very easy to make that case.
I got 2 articles. That's all I got to my name. 2. And they're both opinion pieces.
What was the first one again, Jay?
It was in the forward about the relationship betwin Abu Dhabi and, not Abu Dhabi, the UAE opening
UAE
up to Israel.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Relaxing Party says Jay got a journal job before Siraj did. Yeah.
Shit.
You hate to see it. Well, you're definitely living up to that Discord blue check journal handle.
Right. I'm trying my best.
Jen says the best thing about HPH is the fact that it makes me never want to have sex again. So that's nice.
We try our best.
Hey, you know, the best form of abstinence, watching Habibi Power Hour.
Exactly.
PD17 says, wish there were some Habibis around the Coleyville, Grapevine, HEB area because I'm lonely as shit taking care of my 93-year-old grandmother. I don't know where that is, but if there are any Habibis who do know where that is, hit a brother or sister up and hang out with their 93-year-old grandmother.
Why not?
She sounds cool.
Right. They got a lot.
What grandmother isn't cool, Jay? Really?
The ones that are dead.
I mean, they're technically cold.
Right. I was just about to say the same thing. God damn it. You fucked me once and then we have the same mindset. God damn it.
Right. Jordan Lethal says, is Jay finally going to Gitmo now that he's a journey? You mean a journo?
Look, I go to Gitmo every other 3 months just to go see my uncle and say hello. Mashallah.
Daniel Collins says, what does Siraj need a break from? Being unemployed? Pathetic. Yes, that's right. I need a break from having an extended break.
Right.
PLO, or what is it? PLO2PL says, stop paying for your Airbnb, Siraj. Eviction moratorium means free housing with no consequences, surely. He's got a point.
Right.
Kate Hyde says, Siraj is finally reading chats now that I've stopped roasting him. Essentially.
100%. God damn it.
I'm on to water now. Faye says, Siraj Jay, too tired to think of any good dunks, so we'll just say Mabruk to Jay, and both of you enjoy the break and rest up. We will try. You will get one more episode from us, but it's going to be on the Friday. So unless, Faye, you're willing to break Shabbos and come watch the stream, Shabbos, then you'll have to watch it after you get back from Shabbos. Daniel G says, did I miss the Cuomo talk? Yes, you did. That was very much the first thing.
That's the first.
Where were you? Where were you, Dan? You lib. Bart the Tree Guy says, what happens when you spend your whole vacation waking up at the same time but staying up really late and getting more tired? You get me.
I know. That's. I was about to say, Siraj. What is a Siraj?
A lamp. No, really.
And also, what happens when you spend your whole vacation waking up at the same time but staying up really late?
ASOC369 says, public school. Everybody fucks one mom, but no ass. Charter school, you choose the mom you want to fuck, but it's still no ass. Private school, you get to choose the mom, and it's all ass all the time. We're both gonna have like basically what is it? Court orders to never like be within 50 yards of a school
ever again
because of the comments we get on here.
That's what's going to happen.
Robert Jeffers says, a Siraj is a discount wine. Wonder Kimmy says, how is Earn? Earn is good.
When are you getting them down to Florida?
I'm trying to get them down here within the next week, to be honest. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to take this break, so I can go get them.
Hell yes. Totally worth it. Go get them.
Ryan Chinigo says, Siraj is a lamp because he gets hot and turned on when you screw something in him and flip the switch. Y'all are some horny motherfuckers.
Right.
So let's see what else we got. Yeah, Rom says LMAO HPH is going to get canceled for sure. Faye says uses Thornbird's voice. I love you guys so much, but I love God more. And Harker says have a A1 tip top first class time on your vacation. So anyways, Habibis, unless that's I think that unless Jay, you have anything else?
I love you, Habibis, and can't wait to see you guys after the break.
Yeah, as always, Habibis, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. You can find me at Siraj A. Hashmi. You can find Jay at Assliken, ASSLIKEN. Spencer Sachs at Spencer_Sachs. He is our producer. And of course, you can find our Habibi Bros Twitter at Habibi_Bros. You can also follow the same handle, Habibi_Bros on Instagram. If you haven't already, join our Discord server. There should be a link below in the link tree. And then obviously subscribe, leave a comment, like our YouTube video. And then if you haven't already, go ahead and check us out on patreon.com/Habibi Bros for all of our exclusive interviews and content. We are definitely going to be trying to create more content in this break. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Jay. Oh, before we go, your mom is leaving a comment. So as well, Jay visits his uncle in Gitmo more than he visits his birthing person. Jay, how do you get bodied by your mom on here?
It's insane. I don't know why. The problem is, the issue is that I don't ban her from all of these these places where she can find me. That's the problem, because none of this is true. Okay, look, I'm not going to call my mom a liar. She's a fucking liar. But I love you, Mom.
Amazing. Daniel says, Mary, don't worry, Mary. I'll come visit you instead. Amazing.
Very
amazing.
Good.
Hey,
Very
don't
good.
show some respect to your stepdad. And finally, BP says, why do I give so much money to a gay incel live who sleeps till 2 p.m. and takes 4 weeks vacation? That's a better question to ask yourself. So, Habibis, thank you again so much for joining us tonight on the Habibi Power Hour. Hope you all had a fun time. We certainly had a fun time making this. And we hope Cuomo stays in the news so we can make more Cuomo.
Well, there's no better Cuomo impersonation than a Siraj Cuomo impersonation.
Yes, thank you. And when we confirm guests for our next show, we'll certainly let you know. But in the meantime, stay tuned for Batya Unger Sargan. I believe that's how you say it.
That's her full name. Yes.
That will be for Demigod Habibis. That's Friday night at 9 p.m. East. And for the rest of you Habibis, basically whenever it comes out, probably Saturday. So, but for the Habibi Bros, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jack Kobbe.
We're gonna see you next time. Habibi Power Hour. Peace. Masalama.